It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters. Well, not this week, except for Murray, apparently. Streaming and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, and I didn't go to the cinema last week. Also, we have Jim, who I'm pretty sure also didn't go to the cinema last week.
My name is Jim, and I also did not go to the cinemas last week.
And Murray, who I thought maybe didn't go to the cinema, but apparently he did.
Yes, I did.
Hey there, Merman. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Wow, this is a flip of the switch if ever was one. Thanks for all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please support us at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageYYC. All members get a special limited edition somethings and some other stuff and things. Or if you don't want to join our membership, then you can just buy us a terrible movie to watch and we will watch it. And we probably will hate it. Or at least that's the message, is get us to make something that
That's
we hate.
the goal anyway.
The goal is for us to, what's that thing we do so often on this podcast?
Oh, you guys rage a lot.
Oh, that's right. Feel the rage. Thanks to everyone who's been listening.
Movies are back at Canyon Meadows Cinemas. We are open for your viewing pleasure with great new films opening weekly. All health-regulated protocols are in effect for a safe and enjoyable experience. And don't forget, we should be your first choice for your next birthday party or special event. Can't make it to the cinema? We got you covered. Order concessions from our online store, and you can either choose curbside pickup or get them delivered via Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, or DoorDash. For more details, go to canyonmeadowscinema.ca. Here at CMC, we would like to thank you for your continued support, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the movies.
What?
Time to dance.
It's time to dance. Streaming. We've been streaming. Streaming. And what?
Streaming, Jim.
Even Murray did some streaming on the weekend.
Streaming.
We saw something on Shudder.
Dum dum. Yeah, we saw The Last Thing Mary Saw.
Ooh.
The Last Thing Mary Saw is the story of some lesbian love in the 1840s
Yes.
and the consequences of said passion in that time. It has some gory bits and morphs into a bit of a revenge thriller, I suppose. I admired the collection of actors. I enjoyed the atmosphere of the film. The lighting was superior, as much of this film was scenes by candlelight, but you could actually see what was going on, and with the light kind of feeling natural. It is a promising debut for director and writer Edoardo Vitaletti.
Nice.
It also has a standout performance from veteran actor Judith Roberts as Constance, the community's sort of matriarch.
Yep.
Her performance is downright terrifying. I like this film. It was mad.
Right. Sweet. That is good news. Murray, you saw this too, didn't you?
I did.
This is part of the streaming that Murman did.
Streaming, yeah. So, last time I checked, Shudder was supposed to show horror films, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's there was some horror.
Because this movie sure didn't feel like a horror film.
Horror.
I'd side with Murray on that particular point.
It was suspenseful.
It had religious and sexual persecution.
Yes.
You know, always a good time.
Tick a box.
It was a period piece set in the 1800s.
Uh-oh.
Are we sure it wasn't the 1600s? It sure felt like Puritan times. Like when they used to burn people at the stake.
Well, doesn't that happen all the time in the
I'm pretty sure it was
in the
only
U.S. and a lot of places? When did the witch burning end?
That was around 16. It was
No, they doing that probably right up to the
17.
1900s.
No.
I don't know.
Early 1800s the latest. I can't remember. I actually it was in Salem, but I don't remember the dates.
It was 1840 that it took place.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was a lot earlier. Because they were the most backwards 1800s people I've ever seen in my life.
Well, they were Christian, so there's that.
Maybe that's it.
And it was a bit of an isolated community, it seemed.
Anyway,
Seems so.
yeah, I mean, Kieran Culkin as a stranger was pretty badass.
Yeah.
He's always good.
And the old lady was kind of scary.
She's awesome.
This movie moved way too slow. And I got lost in the old-timey language. So yeah, it was a rage.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Huh.
Interesting. I thought you would have been liking.
No.
No? All right. Well, it's period piece.
I mean, the last 15 minutes was kind of exciting, but
Yeah.
that's what I'll say.
So, first thing of note, if you haven't seen the trailer on this, please pause this podcast right now. So, we're not going to do anything while you wait. They'll still have the music playing. We're assuming that it'll take you a minute and a half. So we won't.
I've never watched the trailer. Should
I
be
know.
watching it right now.
Well, okay. I'm just suggesting people who are listening to our podcast should probably go watch it and then come back. Okay. So I'm assuming you're back. Now that you've seen the trailer, I want to point out that this trailer does an amazing job of not giving anything away in the story. It has a super nice level of creepy that entices you to really want to see this movie. So if now that you've seen the trailer, you are not going to have any idea of what happens in this movie, which is always great. Now, let's talk about the film itself. The film, as Bryce had pointed out, is so dark and in many, many ways other than just one, and has a very low, looming, ominous tone to the music that is always present, just crawling under the surface, which I absolutely loved the music and sound in this film. It has such a great building level of creep. The story is so very slow going, just like the 1840s when this took place. There isn't a whole bunch going on. A big part of the fundamental reason for the outcome of this film is that apparently in the 1840s, it's not very supportive of an alternative lifestyle, which Bryce had also mentioned. This is 100% for sure, at least with this family. They did a pretty good job of creating one of the creepiest families ever created. I'm thinking like go back in time, you know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family. There's the Hills Have Eyes type family. This family is creepy as fuck. It was super creepy. Everyone from the CLF little boy to the old grandma, they got the creep-tastic super creep from the Fam Jam going on here. Think Ed Gein family and friends meetup. There's also lots of nonverbal scenes in this. The story moves forward by what's going on and not what is said. And I thought that was done very well also. Especially what I'm calling, quote unquote, the tea party scene. When you see, you'll know what I mean. It was so good. And maybe was not so well planned out by our heroine. The whole tea party scene doesn't go as I think they were hoping it was going to go. But the tea party scene was worth the price of admission, in my opinion. Story is quite good, but does have a few problems. Plus, I found the acting was not the greatest at times by some of the actors, but as Bryce had mentioned, some of them were standout performances. Plus, the production values I found a little bit basic. I like the creepy family and its creepy, suspenseful tale. I like the ending and the film, but I didn't love it. So apparently, the last thing Mary saw was a meh.
There you go. I agree.
That's it's not a 3-way this week.
No, it's not.
Murray was being Murray's now back on the rage train. What's going on here?
I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time when Murray's raged about something and at least one of us hasn't agreed with him.
I know. What's going on, Murray? Is the rage train on for you or what?
It is a whole new year.
You know what's unfair, though, I have to say? Because Murray didn't watch the next film we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's not fair at all. Yeah.
I gave it a
so
shot.
How hard of a game? You gave this one a shot and gave it a rage.
Oh, this one I saw the whole way through, but this next one, 15 minutes is all I can stomach.
All right. So what did we see? We got to see pretty much the only thing new that came out on Netflix last week. And that is My Father's Violin. No, as far as new, Murray, not new to VOD 6 months ago and then now released, which is a completely different thing. So this is, it's a Turkish movie. And
it's a turkey.
CLF movies, even in Turkey, don't make me like the CLFs any greater. I'm just saying. At the center of this movie is a heartwarming story, but man, it's pretty heavy-handedly dramatized. And wow, another uncle movie. Remember 2 months ago when I said, we never get to see uncle movies? Did the universe listen to me? Or is this just a new fad of uncle movies? I don't know. But this one,
so many uncles.
Maybe closer to Little Orphan Annie version of Uncle than we've had. In fact, she even had red hair. The soundtrack was terrible. The one piano playing all the way through it just became so overwhelmingly annoying.
Was this a movie about a violin?
Yeah,
How
and they
could
had
the music be terrible.
Well, because they had a piano. They didn't have a violin. I wish it was a violin. The piano sound was just, it would come on, it would go on for 5 minutes, and then it would come back again in 5 minutes. The plot is predictable, and as mentioned, overly over the top. Completely overly sickening overdone. The acting is okay-ish, but the film is truly like a Turkish Annie meets some kind of Turkish Shirley Temple film. It's nothing original, nothing really surprising. It's mostly a movie for kids or people who like kids, or maybe people who like uncle movies that's more like Orphan Annie. Suffice to say, of the 4 uncle films that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 months, this is by far the worst. It's surprising that it wasn't as cute and heartwarming as I think it was supposed to be. It's a CLF non-Turkish delight of high rage, mostly because it's not a movie for me. It's a movie that
who's it a movie for?
It's the movies for
like
people who like Turkish Annie, I guess. I really did hate every time the police came. Because that was always that was the most annoying thing. They would be busking in the middle of a giant place, and then the cops would come out, and they're like, "We gotta run!" And they're literally going. They're like, they can barely walk because all the performers are like over the age of 80, and they're like hobbling along.
And the cops are like 5 yards behind
every
them.
time. It's like first off,
how are they gonna lose them eventually?
I know
they had so much more stamina than the cops.
I guess those
they
cops
must have run for hours.
Too many Turkish Danish. I don't know. Like it was. Yeah, it was a rage. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I made it all the way through, though, Murray. I'm just saying.
I also made it all the way through.
You have more patience than I did.
Yeah, My Father's Violin is, terrible. It starts bad and gets progressively worse as it rolls along. The kid they cast is almost unwatchable. The writing is atrocious.
Curly Sue.
There is so much wrong with this film that it would take hours to unpack the awful that is this film.
Give us a taste. Give us the Reader's Digest version.
Well, the thing that really sticks out in this crap fest for me is so we've got this uncle. He's like a professional violinist. He's supposed to be pretty good, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he has this weird he's going to have this concert with this other violinist who seems to be very serious about his violin playing.
Yes.
Like, he is super serious.
Yeah, he almost loses his wife over it.
So he's going. No, I'm talking about the guy.
Oh, the other
teams
guy.
Up with.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's like super serious as well about his violin.
They're both
playing.
supposed to be.
Yeah. So he finds out that his niece has gone missing, like right before this concert that they've been they've been rehearsing for
Years.
Well, I don't think it's years.
It felt like
years. So he finds out his niece is missing, so he just runs off. He abandons this performance, which does not fit this character at all. And he runs off with his like violin in his hand, which is just like, why?
Because it was her father's violin.
Is that what it is?
Let me read the name of the movie again. It's called My Father's Violin.
So maybe this could happen. All right. Maybe he would go running after his niece.
There is a pretty quick switch, though.
Yeah, it's like
there's a pretty quick switch of him going from complete asshole.
Although, knowing the picture they painted of this character, I think he might have just let the authorities take care of it and maybe look for her after the concert. I don't think he would.
I'm always surprised that it's like, oh, she's missing. We know exactly where to find her. Well, then is she really missing?
But here's the thing. He finds his niece, and then they run back to the concert, where the other violinist just leaves the stage. He's like, okay,
you take
none
over.
of this has been rehearsed.
Let's put a little girl on who we don't even know can play.
Takes his place. They start playing in front of a packed audience a song with all sorts of moving parts and the orchestrations, as if they've been practicing this for weeks. What is going on? She is not a professional.
But they left and learned that, orchestra music isn't the right place to music. You need to play happy dancy kid music at the end, because it was like everybody was kind of singing it and knowing it, because it's like obviously a Turkish anthem of some sort.
There's no way
everybody knew that song.
There's no
It was
way.
like,
There's
we
no
know
way
that because we're an orchestra.
No way that the other violinist would have left the stage.
Yeah,
they just walk up and he's like, gives them a nod and just leaves the spotlight.
Maybe he performed already with the other guy's wife, though. But the point you're making is so well taken, because ultimately what it is,
out of the building,
there's no reason to have her on the stage.
There's no reason to have her on the stage. When he goes running out of the building, nobody even asks anything. They just look there's a spotlight and he's not standing in it. And they're like, oh, well, let's just start anyways. Nobody leaves the stage and tries to find him.
Nobody sends authorities. No, he doesn't have a cell phone, obviously, which he's had the whole movie.
And his wife, who's now playing, she's like, whatever, I'll just play the concert.
Yeah.
Wouldn't she go, you know what? We need to find out what's going on? No, she just
Apparently
plays.
not.
She's like, whatever.
It all makes sense.
No, it's stupid. I didn't like it.
It's a musical. It's for kids. It's a rage.
And then stuff happened. I thought that was going to be the end of the movie, but that wasn't even the end of the movie. It just kept on going.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings ×3.
It was awful. This should have been if they were going to try, never mind. Let's just stop talking about it. It was rage.
Yeah, it's terrible rage.
There you go.
Okay, we also got to see on Amazon's Dumb.
I don't remember what Amazon. Yeah, it goes ding. I don't know. It's got what is it?
It's kind of dingy. I don't know.
Kind of dingy. I think.
Yeah. So we got to see the show My Son with one of my favorite boyfriends, James McAvoy. I think I'm madly in love with James McAvoy. I just think he's so adorable. The man he plays in this film is pretty much pretty fucked up mentally and unstable. And I think that's kind of a thing that James McAvoy can play pretty well. I think that's kind of one of his shticks.
Yeah.
This shows how far one man will go to find his son, and how his ex-wife has a tendency to be an idiot. I had real issues with Claire Foy's character throughout parts of this. At times, yeah, it was kind of annoying. And we can talk about more of that in a minute, especially when McAvoy goes to the cabin to find the photographer. And he distinctly says, and they seem to have perfect unison to say, I'm going to go by myself because if something happens to me, we don't want our child / my son to be without both parents. So what does she do? he's gone for 5 minutes, and she's like, you know what? I should probably go. I should probably go with him instead of calling their friend who happens to be a cop, which kind of pissed me off. So her character in this was not a powerful character, which always annoys me because I think there should be a lot more stronger, more intelligent female roles. I don't think it was well written.
Yeah, she came across as kind of dumb.
Yeah. So, and the whole time you're kind of thinking to yourselves, I want them to take these fuckers down. And I mean, take them down with torture style, which we get some good delivery on that. The level of stress you feel as the suspense builds, to me, was very well done. But some of the circumstances they put into this film, it was a little hard to believe. Things that would happen one way instead of another. I felt they had too many of these coincidences happening. And the way it ends leaves you with so many unanswered questions. Interesting fact, though, at where there's basically 30 minutes left in the film, I thought to myself, oh, this feels like it's only, and I actually had to pause it, and I was like, wow, we've gone through an hour and a half of this movie already? It felt like it hadn't been gone that far. So that's obviously a good thing, because I wasn't like going, oh my God, when is this going to end? I like the suspense. I love the acting. I like the concept. I just wish it was executed better. So, James, me boy, this flick is meh.
Yeah.
And it's a rewrite, I guess, of an earlier Danish film.
Yeah, that's what
which I hadn't seen, but.
Yeah. So I'm interested to maybe check out the Danish film someday.
Although they both have the exact same rating, I think, on IMDb. So apparently they didn't make any positive changes to the plot and idea of what was happening. So.
The original's probably better, I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
If they kept the same writing, maybe not.
But
it could still also be meh. So we'll find out. Anyway, what did you think of it?
I thought it was meh.
All right. Didn't you get kind of
short and sweet?
It was, yeah. Well, I guess apparently everything that was making me go mad. There was so much good about this, though. Like, I really felt the suspense was really built well. I loved the whole scene when he goes to see the photographer. That whole scene was super suspenseful, and you think to yourself, okay, he's kind of unstable. He's obviously his job. They put some ideas in your head that he's got something that. Like, you kind of think that something's happening because of what his job is. So you kind of think maybe he's got some skills about murder. And then we find out, obviously, that's either a hobby of his or perhaps this is part of his job is to do torture, which is a very great torture scene. It
was. And it left me like it started, that the torture scene started. I was like, yeah, he's not going to do anything. And then it kind of fed into that. Because he's like, he takes the hammer and he slams it close to his foot, but really nowhere near his foot.
I know.
And you're like, this guy's not going to talk at all. And then all of a sudden, it's almost as if McAvoy just snaps. And man, once he snaps,
it's like he's split.
Yeah.
Okay, but you finally got it. But didn't you find the suspense at that part was actually really quite well done? Yeah. And I like the intrigue of it because
it got ramped up right from there on.
It did, but when they get to the end house, that's where things got a little bit stupid.
Yeah, well, it was fine until. His wife shows up, and you're like, what? Why?
Yeah, let's just give them somebody else to kidnap.
Yeah. So that.
And then how
made no sense.
I'm sorry. Also, how fast does that car go? It's like the laugh guy's left, and he's like upstairs, and they're pulling around the car, just going 10 kilometers an hour. Yeah. You think I'd be fucking peeling rubber out of there, and there's no possible way he would have got a shot off because he would have been there was just. Too many circumstances that kind of went, you could tighten this up so much and it could have been so great.
You didn't have to have him upstairs when he heard the car. He could have been, making his way down. He was already at the door and then he comes out.
Yeah, it could have been that, but they didn't. And that's what made it so, it was pieces like that. They just need to tighten these things up a bit. Like okay, so here's my question to you.
Yes.
If they would have kept some of that stuff near the end tighter, would it have changed you to a Mondo?
No.
Okay. So what was it, other than that, what caused you not? What were the things?
I have seen too many similar plots recently, and this one just didn't stand out above others, so it's...
So it was more than a few things then. It wasn't just...
It's one of those movies, as you say, you're watching it, and it's fine, and it rolls along, and McAvoy's great, but at the end of the day, it's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
I've seen similar plots
done better,
yeah.
Right?
So
a bit of tightening,
yeah.
and a bit more Mondo, but I'm sorry, James, who I love very much.
Yes.
What else did we see?
We saw
something from Iran.
Yeah, Iranian film called A Hero, which I hear is going to be their representative for the Oscars. I kind of hope it maybe gets nominated because I kind of like this. Just to spoil it a little bit.
Oh, spoiler alert!
A Hero is a moral tale directed by Asghar Farhadi. It finds our main character, Rahim, on leave from his debtor's prison, which is apparently a thing in some countries.
I know.
While on leave, he tries to convince his creditor to withdraw his complaint as he has come across some money that he wishes to put towards his debt. Unfortunately, the money is not exactly his. From here, we spiral from one bad decision to another that finds Rahim deeper and deeper in trouble as his lies start piling up on top of each other. It is a strange film because it has no real good guy, and to be honest, his creditor is also painted as a kind of a dick. We get to sit back and watch a very realistic situation play out where we don't really root for anyone, but it's kind of like it's got a car crash element, as you can't look away from the tragedy of every move that Rahim makes. No real good guys, no real bad guys, just one guy suffering the consequences of his decisions and really getting what he deserves based on those decisions. It's a fascinating watch. It really is a fascinating watch. And the whole time you're just like, oh, Rahim. And you want
to sum this movie up?
Rahim. And I want to root for Rahim so badly because he's a pleasant fellow. And in his head, he really thinks he's doing right. I think he believes that, but he does so much wrong.
Well, and I think part of it too, I won't give some of my review a little bit away, but to your point, he is actually becoming good.
Yeah,
or at least you sort of it's hard. You don't want to give too many spoilers away for this movie because all the way through it, you're there's always this question in your mind going, is this all? Is we getting to see everything we're supposed to see?
He kind of takes a step forward and then a couple steps backward. Yeah. And a step forward, all of a sudden he'll do something and you're like, oh, okay, he's learning from the last mistake, and then he'll do something stupid again, and and he's human. And this is a very human story.
Film, yeah.
I thought A Hero was Mondo.
All right. Wow. So as I'm watching this, 7 minutes into the film. And Murray, you'll be excited about this. And I'm thinking, Bryce must. I almost said Bruce again. What? They call him Bruce. I'm thinking Bryce must be having a filmgasm right now. As of that 7 minutes, half of it was taken up by a man walking every step in a giant 20-floor scaffolding.
It was good.
And then it's followed by walking down five flights of stairs. And I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, if Bryce hasn't had to stop, he's now 7 minutes in heaven because the amount of filmgasm he's having from all the walking is probably...
It was a tremendous intro.
Kind of blowing his mind a bit. Whereas me, I'm kind of like, oh my God, kill me now. If this is what's going to happen, I'm going to hate this movie. But apparently it's because our director loves taking shots of walking up and down things. So I had no expectation as what was going to happen. This is another one of those films that we kind of had. I've talked a little bit about from last week. We saw an Indonesian film where you really get insight into a different culture, which you kind of had alluded to in your comments, and which I absolutely love. I love seeing films where you're seeing a completely separation of culture from anything that we could experience in North America.
This is totally foreign.
This is completely foreign, which I think keeps you engaged in the film. You're so locked in to say, wow, is this how things happen there? Yeah. Which I found absolutely fascinating. the whole way that Iranians process people in prison and by other people who they have wronged against, I found it very fascinating, as you had said, with the whole fact of, he steals something and it's like the person that's actually accused him and he's actually went to prison for actually kind of says what his sentence is.
Yeah, and he's got the power to, say,
yeah, keep him in prison.
Keep him in prison, or you know what? If he pays me back and he starts making payments, you can come out.
Then you can come out. Yeah. So it's like, but it's then again, how am I ever going to pay this back if I don't get out of prison? Which I think, to your point, the supposed bad guy who's his debtor actually was struggling with the whole time.
Yeah.
But man, the whole thing of whether or not he was genuine was the whole question to me in this film. Yep. The suspense and intrigue started to really build, and as it progressed, and it just made the story much, much, much more complex. This film had so many ups and downs, and there are moments in this film I was actually so stressed out, I had to stop watching the film and go do something else and then come back to it. Yeah. This movie motherfucking stressed me out, which meant I was completely invested in the story.
Yes.
Its characters were fantastic. Everything that was going on in this man's life, I wanted to know more about, even though, like you said, I didn't really care much about anybody, but it affected me. And it literally, that never happens to me. I don't think I've ever watched a movie where I had to stop the movie twice to say I'm so stressed out by what's happening in this movie.
As I say, I think I might have put it wrong, because I really did care about him, but I also cared about his accuser, because...
there was points on his story too where it's
initially he seemed like such an ass.
But then he has a reason.
He's got some points.
He's got some points, yeah. So it just draws you. And you know what it is? The characters were all so freaking well...
They were well
developed.
They were all developed, and everything felt so genuine in this movie.
It was almost like you're actually watching it. It's like a documentary.
It seemed like it almost. Yeah.
Yeah, this film was a super mondo. It's right now. It's sitting in one of my top 2 films of this year so far. So, yeah, Murray, you missed it, but there was some walking in it.
There was some walking.
As long as it's not Phoenix.
No, it was in Iran, not in Phoenix.
Walk in Phoenix.
I got that.
Johnny Walker.
There was no Walk in Phoenix in this.
Christopher Walken.
There was no Christopher Walken. Yeah. Right. This is terrible now.
Mondo.
2 Mondos, Murray.
Oh, yeah. I guess I got to do that.
Wake up.
Mondo.
Nice.
All right, then.
From the highs to the lows.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Sweet rage flowing over me like a blanket. The music of a violin slowly seeping into my soul. Okay, my rage this week is, can we stop having fucking uncle movies now?
I second that.
I'm like, okay, when Come On came out, I was like, I can't believe we don't have more uncle movies. This is like the 5th uncle movie I think we've seen.
There's been a lot of uncle movies.
But it's on a progressive down spiral.
Yeah, they're getting worse every time.
It's like every time we see one, I'm thinking to myself, how could this get any worse now? What uncle movie's coming out next that's going to be so terrible that like it stops us from ever wanting to watch a movie again? That's what I think is going to happen.
Is Adam Sandler working on one?
I think he is actually.
Anybody can save it.
Anyone can save
with David Spade.
It's with David Spade and Kevin.
No.
Yeah, my rage this week
Schneider.
is I'm tired of not
Rob
watching
Schneider's
uncle movies.
right.
They're not getting better. That's it. That's my rage. Stop making uncle movies now. Go move on to aunt movies.
There you go.
There you go.
Crazy
We haven't seen
Aunt.
any of those. When was the last Ant movie we've seen? And I don't mean Ant-Man, Murray's favorite superhero.
Ants?
Ants, the movie.
It's the movie.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, and also January. Just saying.
Oh, you bastard.
Uh-oh. Took his rage.
I am going to echo what Jim's been preaching every week.
Stole his rage.
January. It's finally gotten to me. It took until now. But this is ridiculous. Nothing is coming out in the movie theaters.
We're getting one movie next week, thanks to our sponsor, CMC.
Yeah. And we're getting nothing that's getting a widespread release.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
January is
nothing.
just-
I believe the next thing coming out is the Jackass movie.
I'm actually
I'm
kind of
looking
excited
forward
about that.
to it.
I'm not.
I actually watched Jackass 2 the other day. I was like, I forgot all about what happens in there.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville
Yes.
has entered the Royal Rumble with
What?
29 other wrestlers. He's going to be in a ring with wrestlers.
He's like 5'2".
Yeah, I know.
They're just gonna.
What's funny about it?
I don't know any wrestlers. Marie, what's a wrestler that's wrestling right now that's like 7 feet tall? It's actually wrestling, not like one of the favorites of the past, like Undertaker or whatever.
I don't think there's any 7 foot.
There's got to be a seven. There's always
there's a lot of
7
big
foot.
guys, but yeah,
One of them.
You would know the guys that are out now. But
do you have one of them that you know? Just gonna pick him up with their pinky.
Okay, well, Kevin Owens is from Montreal.
Okay.
He's like 300 pounds, 6
He's
foot
gonna
five.
he's gonna take Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
Probably fling him from the ring with his penis. Probably.
Yeah.
It'll be like, here, come
Anyway,
here, boy.
I just thought it curious, you know, because Jackass is coming out in February and he's wrestling in the Rumble like Sunday.
Yeah,
So,
no,
anyway.
it's just a promotional thing. They'll
Anyway,
have some gimmick setups for him to go
yes,
flying through
I agree.
something.
David Arquette will wrestle him first.
Sure. Oh, he can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. January sucks.
Yeah,
At least every month
January's
of
just
the year.
worst.
Haven't had one in almost 50 years.
It took me 26 days to get on the January
didn't
sucks
take me that
train,
long.
but
It took
I'm
me the
here.
first week of January, and I was already on.
took me January 1st.
There you go. So stay tuned next January to see if Film Rage goes on holidays.
Somewhere warm and sunny, hopefully.
Where are we going again? Cuenca?
Cuenca?
Ooh, yeah, Cuenca.
There you
Cuenca.
go.
Ecuador.
Cuenca.
Let's plan for that.
Let's do a Film Rage convention in Cuenca
Sure.
the entire month of January.
All right, then.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Well, hello there. My name is CJ, and I am the host of Talkin' Shit's podcast, a podcast that is a comedy podcast that has everything you're looking for. Well, maybe not everything you're looking for, but if you're looking for something different, definitely stop on by. My podcast can be found on any podcast platform. I talk about movies, strangest stories on the internet, music. There's a little about everything, kind of pop culture-ish. So if you're looking for something different, definitely stop on by the Talkin' Shit's podcast, and I will see you on the next episode.
Love me, the CJ. Oh, baby.
All right. Well,
Look, I don't think I've seen a smile on your face all of January. People who are not seeing this right now, Murray looks like he just had either some kind of giant orgasm. His
Orgasm.
face is like lit up like
well,
Christmas.
I'm listening to you guys talk for the last 20 minutes, so I
That's
guess
right.
I can finally chime in.
Yeah, well, do your homework.
I don't watch crime, you know that.
There's no crying in baseball.
Okay, well, this week I'm going to talk about 2 movies that were not on the approved viewing list.
That's right. One that Bryce already talked about 6 months ago.
I don't know if he did. I never remember.
I don't
him
think
talking
I talked
No,
about
he didn't
it,
talk
but-
about it. He just saw it. That's different.
Spoiler alert. Bryce thought it
Anyway.
was poopy.
Not.
Isn't it Bruce Willis? It's going to be poopy.
Yeah.
He's doubted.
Okay, the first one was on Netflix because I refused to watch that Violin movie, which apparently I dodged a bullet there. It was Midnight in the Switchgrass, which actually was supposed to come out last summer, but they instead decided to push it to VOD.
Yeah. that
And it
was
came
a
out
good
to
decision.
Netflix this week, which is why I watched it.
I don't know why I watched it.
I don't know.
Like 6 months
Glutton
ago.
for
There you go.
punishment. That's why.
An FBI agent and a Florida state officer team up to investigate a string of unsolved murder cases involving young girls. Starring
Sounds good.
Emil Hirsch, Megan Fox,
Yeah.
Lucas Haas, and yes, Bruce Willis. Well,
The doubted
Bruce Willis was in it for about 5 minutes. I suspect he was cast just to try and sell tickets.
Yeah, but that's nowadays. It's like kind of a detriment if Bruce Willis is in
Yeah,
a
movie.
movie.
I'm not going to a Bruce Willis movie.
I'll go to a Megan Fox movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, since I wasn't going to watch...
Till
anyway,
Death was good.
Okay, I actually didn't mind this film, though it was obviously predictable. Emil Hirsch is always good. Megan Fox did her best acting since Transformers, or whatever that's worth.
Have you seen a lot of her stuff though, Mur? Because she's gotten better.
I've seen a handful.
Yeah. She's not just beautiful
And,
anymore.
Lucas Haas was one creepy dude.
That'll
He
give
was the creepy kid in Witness, and he has just gotten creepier with age.
Nice.
Pretty much everything he's in, he's just the creepy guy.
I
in the
love
movie.
creepy. Is he a creep crush for you, Mur?
No.
Okay.
I like the suspense and some of the action scenes. I would like to give it a Mondo, but it just doesn't get there. So
Which is lucky for Bruce Willis.
It's a creepy man.
Nice.
Second movie was in the cinemas, which it almost never happens. We have a week where the rest of the film race crew did not go to a cinema, and
Yes.
I did.
I know, right? It's
I'm trying to
opposite
figure
week.
out why.
Since
It's opposite
They
week.
both refused to
I can
see
tell
the
you
King's
why.
daughter.
I can tell you why.
Decided,
You know who's in it?
I decided to take the bullet for the team. Plus, Pierce Brosnan.
Ugh.
Yes.
This film was actually completed 8 years ago.
Right.
What?
And it was just never released.
I wonder why.
2014. The girl in the movie was like 18 or something. And when
Wait,
she was
is
in the
this-
movie, she's now married with like 3 kids.
Isn't this like the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan
Is this
movie?
true? Was this actually
Yes.
made 8 years ago?
2014, it was made.
I didn't
This
even
is how
know
desperate
that.
they
Yes.
are, Bryce.
Oh my
Anyway.
goodness.
It probably should have gone straight to Netflix or the Disney Channel, except it wasn't produced by Disney.
Or it should have just stayed on the shelf at whatever,
never
whatever
released.
studio it
Well,
was
they
hanging
made it.
out
They
at.
had to release it. At some
Okay,
point.
well, let's hear what Murray thought of
A lot
it.
of movies never get released.
The story, as outlandish as it seems, centers around French King Louis XIV.
Wow.
He wants to rule France forever.
Why not?
So his evil scientist slash doctor uncovers a book that explains the ritual sacrifice of a mermaid that will uncover immortality.
So this was historically accurate.
Accurate.
Of course.
It was a biopic.
At the same time, the king's illegitimate daughter returns from the convent.
Uh-huh.
I know, sounds ridiculous, but it's a fairy tale.
Oh.
As fairy tales go, this one wasn't too bad. It felt like a Princess Bride, Shape of Water, Little Mermaid kind of mashup.
Hybrid.
Okay.
It had a decent love story and some swashbuckling pirates.
He does like swashbuckling.
Yeah, it was smarmy and sentimental and predictable. But it still tugs at the old heartstrings.
Does it?
The biggest complaint I had about this film is Jim's big pet peeve. Casting. Much as I love Pierce Brosnan, I could watch that man read a phone book.
But not with a French accent.
Casting an Irishman as a French ruler was just not good.
He's
And-
the worst at accents,
And
too.
considering he didn't have one, nobody did.
Oh, okay.
And considering this film was set in France, there wasn't a single French person in it.
Nice.
Still, I can now add the Palace of Versailles to my bucket list.
Oh, you haven't been to the
If it
Palace of
still
Versailles?
exists.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Because it looked amazing.
It is.
Was this film a Mondo? Of course not. But it wasn't a rage either. I actually enjoyed it.
I bet it was.
It
a
appealed
rage.
to the 11-year-old child that lives in my dark soul.
It's true.
I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than The Last Duel. And these two would have hated it.
Nice.
All I got.
So it was a double Murray Ma. It was the Murray Ma minute
And I got to go to the cinema.
by himself.
And it was
So-
cheap Tuesday, so it was only $8.
I have to rib Murray about this because he sends me a message kind of last minute and says, "Hey, do you want to go to the cinemas with me? I'm going at I think it was like 2:00." I'm like, "I have
1 o'clock.
class till 2.
Yeah.
If you can wait till later, I could go with you."
I never got that one.
And he was like, he was ghosting me then because it was like apparently he didn't want to go with
Because
me.
I was in the cinema. I was watching the movie.
So he gives me like 5 minutes notice. Do you want to see this movie with me at 2
I'm
o'clock?
here. Where are you?
Yeah, where are you? And then when I said, yeah, okay, I'll go, but I can't go at 2. Can we do
Because
later?
I never really expected
And then
to
he
actually do
ghosted
it.
me. Well, then don't ask me.
I had to ask. It was courtesy.
But you have 5 minutes to get here. Where are
If
you?
you'd wanted to see it, you would have seen it. That's the bottom line.
Nice.
Anyway.
That was the best minute.
I'll have to slip it in somewhere.
Yeah, slip it all the way in.
Do we have anything on the list? Anything?
I got nothing.
Bueller?
I mean, we look at what we did this last week. There's not really anybody, I guess James McAvoy, but he's not really mesmerizing. I may love him and want to have his same-sex baby, but I don't I don't think he's mesmerizing in any way.
No.
So, I mean, and the only thing that, after what Murray said, the only thing that would maybe make me want to think, if we just talked about Pierce Brosnan just to piss him off.
No, you would never put him on any of this.
Well, we can't because of you, but we can still talk about our hatred of his movies.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do it. Yeah. Well, you won't hate him, but I'm sure if you look at his last 8 movies. Okay, we haven't seen The King's Daughter, but Murray gave it a meh.
Yes.
Now, was Cinderella an actual live action film?
I believe so. I think it was what do you call it? One of those streaming movies.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you're right. We probably would have hated The King's Daughter, so it would have been a rage. Cinderella, just the fact that it's a live action Disney film, it's automatically a rage. False Positive, I didn't see it. Did anybody see it?
What the heck's false positive?
It's a movie. He plays Dr. Hindle.
Dr. Hindle?
Yeah. And then there's a movie called Misfits, which was a rage.
Yeah.
Then there's an animated adventure. Eurovision Song Contest was a rage. It was a rage. You actually gave it a rage.
I did not give it a rage. I gave it a meh.
Oh. Final Score was a rage.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again was a rage.
That was a rage. Spinning Man.
I
was
didn't
a
see
rage.
it. Yeah,
I
so
saw it.
The Foreigner was actually a Mondo. So if we go back that far, he can't be on it. For that alone, without even including Murray's votes.
Yeah, no, The Foreigner was a Mondo.
It was a very big Mondo.
That was like the best movie Jackie Chan ever made. Not that that's saying a lot.
I don't know. I like
yeah.
the Bronx movie.
You can like the Bronx movie.
I love it. I
Okay,
watched it the other day.
And you can
it's
love
still
it.
great.
And it's still nowhere near as good as The Foreigner.
Okay, maybe. But it's still...
You can love it all you want. It's got that certain something that it's hard not to love it.
It's a Mondo, but it's not
but
as
The
big
Foreigner's
a Mondo.
actually a great movie.
It is a great movie. Because it's funny when you go back to watch... what is it, The Bronx? What is it? The...
Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx, thank you. Yeah,
Like
it's
1990 something?
Yeah, I mean it's very dated, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, The Foreigner's actually 8 back. So
Yeah. So we can't
get him on.
But just again, Murray saves Pierce Brosnan, one of his man
'cause
crushes.
Every time.
Every time.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah.
That's all I got. I just wanted to get that out there.
He's been in some
he's been
bad
making some
movies.
terrible choices. And he can't sing. He should stop trying.
I disagree.
What? Have you seen Mamma Mia's?
Yes.
And you
And
think
he
he
sings
can?
in more than just those 2 movies.
Ugh, he's so terrible.
It's really bad.
Terrible, terrible.
All right.
He's adorable, though. I'll give you that, Mur.
It's adorable.
He is. Look at him. I just love looking at his cute face.
All right, then.
He's no Daniel Craig, but he's pretty good.
Whatever. Kick Daniel Craig's ass every day of the week.
Daniel Craig is definitely a superior James Bond. That's for
Whatever.
sure.
Okay, we better stop talking
Now
about
you're just
it.
pissing me off.
Exactly. There's some poking going on over here.
Okie doke. Nice of you to put it on 2 pages, Jim.
You're welcome.
Last week on Rage or Dare, Jim and Bryce were lucky enough to pull from my ice cream bucket of rage. This week, Bryce is on his own, and as we will have to rage or
no,
dare.
can't be my turn again.
Yeah, you
What
never
it-
think it's your
what
turn.
It says.
Check the page,
Check in
bitch.
with Jim first and see whether Meg Ryan will bring a tear to his eye or just tears of rage in this boxing sports romance biopic against the ropes.
Okay, so the first 5 minutes into this, and I'm going, oh my fucking God, what is this? CLF sports movie biopic? Just kill me now. Weirdly enough, it appears we are on a streak with Uncle movies. This also had an Uncle play in it.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. And remember when I said earlier that my father's Violin was the worst?
Oh, it was worse than this.
I am going to say maybe not.
Really?
I wonder how this will
This
end.
is awful.
Keep
but-
in mind, this is now 5 in
Yeah.
of uncles. So now it maybe makes a little bit more sense as to why my rage was uncle movies. Well, first off, the dialogue was so bad, as was the delivery of said dialogue. It was a 2004 film, but felt like it was a 1992 film. That's how bad the dialogue was. It was like, I want to say 8 years of off-putting. And what was the accent that Meg Ryan was trying to do?
Oh, she was actually
Bryce.
she was doing a pretty accurate.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Every single line was different. It was almost like they reshot every single word she said. And it was like, imagine Murray trying to listen to someone do a Boston accent with a New York accent and then a French accent and then a Filipino accent and then, but all in one sentence.
No.
It was kind of like, it was absolutely the absolute worst accent I'd ever heard in my entire life.
It was annoying, but
The biggest thing in this
yes.
is that the film seemed so dated. And it's only 2004. I mean, the dialogue was 1992, but the film was like 1987. The concept felt so Disney/ABC after school special, and the music added to the fact that it felt like an ABC Disney after school special. So canned. The music was so canned. But hey, I got to revisit my favorite actors from the show Wings.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that's not bad, right?
Yeah, except
The quick answer-
I'm guessing they weren't your favorite actor.
The quick answer is no. It didn't make it better. God, this was so fucking painful to watch. This is one of those movies that was a recipe for rage and pretty much everything I hate in movies. You know, everything is awful. Yeah, that's the formula it had. Meg Ryan, sorry, I'm just trying to do her accent. Is so awful in this role. She seemed out of place in the entire movie. This movie was painful. I never thought I would ever say this, but I actually miss Mary-Kate and Ashley after seeing this movie. What an ending, though. The Rocky ending we had always wanted to happen finally happened. But instead of screaming Adrian Murray, it's Chucky! 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 Chucky!
That never happened.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
No, I'm
Boxer
saying-
films.
I'm saying
It's a complete and utter disgusting rage.
It's not an accurate.
But there's a line in this that made no sense.
no. There's
Now
a
follow
1,000
this
lines
line.
in this. that
I
make no
know,
sense.
but this one was the worst. Okay, now if you can help me try and figure out what this means.
All right.
Money will come, money will go.
Yeah.
That's why they call it cash flow.
Yes.
What? Okay, let's just break this down. Money will come, money will go.
Yes.
What the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China, Bryce?
It's cash.
What is cash
Would
flow?
you like
What
me
does
to
that have to
explain it to you?
do
It
with
flows
cash?
in, it flows
It's-
out.
it,
just like the.
No, it makes no comparison to a
Just
river.
like the
It makes
flowing
no.
tide.
It makes
It
no.
is.
It makes no comparison. It's just money comes in and money goes out. And, yeah, this was
Well,
literally one
the-
of the worst lines.
The analogy that I always think of is it's a wind tunnel of cash, where it's going by you, and if you're lucky, you could reach in and grab like $20 for a cup of coffee or something.
Right.
Because money comes in, and then it's spent.
See, now that would have been a better analogy.
It's
Actually,
spent
that
as soon
makes-
as you get it.
You know what that makes me ask? What does that have to do with the price of tea?
Well,
in
I don't know what it has to do
China?
with the movie. I'm just saying that's what they meant.
Yeah, but it's not from the line. You get that. Anyway, this movie was so painful. And actually, my wife walked in about 10 minutes. She watched 10 minutes of it, and she was like, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep watching these terrible movies? And then she left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
How did Roger Ebert give this a thumbs up?
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure
Was
it
this
out.
when Roger Ebert was dying?
I don't know. He doesn't always have the best taste.
He might have been. No, I don't think. He
Maybe his brain was damaged at the time.
Maybe.
Maybe he did a bunch of crack and canned. And then he came back and watched this movie, and he was too stoned to know any different.
Yeah.
But what did you think, Bryce?
I thought it was really, really bad. Meg Ryan imitating boxing promoter Jackie Cowan for 90 minutes is about as entertaining as having a needle poked into your eardrum for 90 minutes. The film takes a lot of liberties with the facts. It's garbage.
It's based on a real
absolute
person?
Garbage. It's based on a real person.
Yeah, based on a real
Who,
person.
by the way, has a cameo in this. Did you know that?
Wow.
I didn't really care,
She
but
played one of the reporters at the news conference.
Oh.
And she asked a question.
That sounded challenging.
that was her.
That
Yeah.
sounded challenging.
So that was one of the best actors in the film.
Yeah, she was really good.
Should have played herself then.
Yeah,
It
she
was,
should have played herself.
It was so bad.
What was with her dress too? Like it was like I'm sorry, if you're trying to portray a powerful woman, don't dress her scantily.
Unfortunately, that's how she dressed.
Did she?
Yeah. A lot of what Meg Ryan did with this character, like I know of Jackie Cowan. I've seen her a lot because I used to watch boxing a lot.
I know.
More than I do now. I don't know why I don't watch boxing.
Probably
much
because
anymore.
it's
Yeah.
boring.
No,
But,
that's not it. Anyways, and Meg Ryan, she did fine as far as imitating this. That was a fine imitation. But Jackie Cowan as a human being's kind of annoying, and Meg Ryan nailed it. So
I don't think it was for the same reasons, but
yeah, bad movie. As I say, had a total made-for-TV quality, terrible music. I have never been a fan of Tim Daly, and now I know why he never ever
isn't anything anymore.
I think after this, I don't think he probably wasn't in any other movies after this because he is so bad in this. It's just.
Believe he was in the Batman and Superman animated series.
Oh, he became a voice
yeah.
actor.
He was the voice of one of them.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been Batman. I don't remember.
There you go. Well, he is brutal. I actually don't mind Tony Shalhoub. He's usually pretty okay, but in this he was terrible.
Yeah, I actually really like him. Actually,
Yeah.
I really like him.
It's just,
I
well,
can
everybody was bad in this. So like how I like Omar Epps too, but why is he in this?
Why would he allow himself
Yeah.
to be in this?
It's just took so many liberties with stuff. Like a lot of this was just Hollywoodized and just garbage, which you had to do because her story really isn't that interesting. It really didn't warrant making a movie.
Tim Daly's still doing stuff on TV.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yes.
not surprised.
That I believe,
Yeah.
but his movie career
Hallmark
went down
movies?
the pooper after this movie. Not that
His
he ever had
choices-
a movie career.
His
but,
choices are bad. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's really not a good actor, though.
Yet
he
he still
really
worked.
showed that in this.
Sometimes
But,
you-
yeah,
I
this
didn't
was-
think anybody was great in this.
Sometimes
to
you
be
get
quite
away with
honest.
This was an unbelievable rage. It was so bad.
So Murray, well done, my friend. Well done. This $1 investment you made, and
$2.
I actually. This $2
It
you
was a
invested in the podcast was well spent.
I have to go.
And
I have to go shopping.
the
again.
funniest thing, though, after all of this, was that I put it in our recycling bin to go to the garbage. And when my wife was taking them out, she says, "Why would you throw a movie in the garbage?" And I said, "Because it's garbage."
It's bad. That's why I only spent $2 on
And
it.
she looked at me and she went, "Thumbs up."
Well, look at it this way: you spend $5 on a movie to watch on demand, and you get nothing at the end of it.
That's right.
The money's just gone.
This way I get to
The
recycle it.
satisfaction of throwing it out.
The satisfaction.
So there you go.
And in the garbage,
You're
which was
welcome.
Take that, Meg Ryan.
You're welcome.
well played, Murman.
All right.
All right, Bryce. You get to rage or dare this week.
There's a lot of films in that audience.
There's a
There
lot
is.
in this one too.
Was there?
Yep.
And yet, not too many in this one.
I
know.
think I took one from your bag last time.
You did. That's why you can rage or dare.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Dare.
All right. This usually is a Mondo, Bryce.
yeah.
You like the movies.
He rages against our audience all the time.
That's right. Audience, just so you know, if you make him watch a movie he likes, he'll be mad at you.
I will be because
You will feel
people
his
don't
rage.
get exactly how bad these got to be in order.
Apparently,
Okay.
Murray does.
All right, I've actually been watching a lot of the animated series lately, so
Oh,
I'm kind of looking forward to
interesting.
this. Revisiting the 2000 live action The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, a little Jason Alexander
A
action.
live action one?
Yeah,
Wow, this
I
sounds
think Robert
terrible.
De Niro is.
Did you-
Isn't he? It's left me. the fearless leader.
The Russian dude?
Yeah,
The Russian dude, Boris and
Boris
Natasha?
and Natasha?
No, Boris is Boris
Oh, you
is
mean
Jason
like
Alexander.
Oh, you mean
their
Dudley
boss.
Do-Right's boss?
No, Boris and Natasha's boss, fearless leader.
Oh, right, right. Oh, fearless
sure-
leader, the fearless leader.
I think
His
that's
actual
played by
name is
Robert De
Fearless
Niro,
Leader?
right?
Nice. I don't know. I remember hating that movie so much that I forgot everything about it.
There you go.
It's gonna be. It's
It's gonna be great.
It might be.
No.
Yeah, you know what? I don't really remember. I don't think I've seen.
I
it.
wish you good luck, but I actually wish you a lot
I
of
love
pain.
the animated series. Like I literally.
Yeah, I do
During
too.
the pandemic, if I'm kind of feeling down,
Yep.
one of my go-to things to bring me back up is throwing some Rocky and Bullwinkle.
See, and for me,
Really?
it's watching the Sparks Brothers.
There you go. So yeah, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle from the year 2000.
All right, then.
2000
Heck of a way to start the
party
millennium. Yep.
overlook out of time.
I'm looking forward to this.
All right.
All right. Well, you know what that means. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Film Rage crew, how you can find in our show notes. Find us everywhere on social media at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. And stuff is on sale right now. Get your Oscar shirts now. I'm wearing one tonight. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for our listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please make us rage. Please? Please. That's it for this week. Rage on!
Rage on.